What would it be like for a passionate architecture enthusiast to become the king?
In France, there was a king whose name was Louis XIV, ascended the throne when he was young. Although he might not have understood much about state affairs, he definitely knew about household affairs. This king was not an ordinary one. He was known as the Sun King because his power shone over the whole of France like the sun. One major characteristic of Louis XIV was his passionate love for architecture and art. He was not just interested in these matters, he elevated them to the level of national importance. Louis XIV had a passion for architecture, and he was not satisfied with ordinary palaces. Thus, he initiated an unprecedented luxury home project, the Palace of Versailles. This palace was not just any palace. It can be described as a miracle in the history of architecture. In the process of building the Palace of Versailles, the king spared no expense. He demanded architects to put their utmost effort into creating the world's most magnificent palace regardless of the cost. Of course, this project consumed a vast amount of wealth, but it seemed that the king did not care. His mantra was, no matter how much it costs, it's worth it. Louis XIV was not just obsessed with architecture, he was also a politician. He amusingly applied construction site management techniques to govern his country. The king decided to summon all the nobles to the Palace of Versailles so he could supervise them personally. He believed that if the nobles were busy decorating the palace walls, they wouldn't have time to plot coups. As a result, the Palace of Versailles became a political center where nobles competed for the king's attention, allowing the king to consolidate greater power. He also implemented a centralized policy, demanding that all decisions be approved by him. His tight control over the nobility was so effective that one cannot help but admire his innovative management methods. After the death of Louis XIV, he left behind an immortal legacy. The Palace of Versailles is not just a palace, but a milestone in European history. It has become a symbol of French culture and a masterpiece of art and architecture. Historians have varying opinions about Louis XIV. Some say he was a spendthrift who squandered money, but many more admire him as a guardian of the arts regardless of the judgment. The legendary story of the Sun King is astonishing.